It's my birthday. And that means I get some books, a slice of carrot cake, and another step closer to the grave. Still, you know, the books are nice. Let's talk about the books. Hello everyone and welcome to Paperback Journeys, where today I'm going to be doing a special book haul. I've got about 6 or 7 books that I received from friends and family for my birthday. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing what I got from these generous people. I think that's one of the really good things about us book readers, is that we're so easy to buy for, because if you're anything like me, you've got a TBR list that only ever grows. It never really shrinks, right? People are publishing books faster than I can read them. Obviously, I'm quite a slow reader, actually. I've also got quite eclectic tastes, so I'm going to be going over various genres. I'm just looking now. One's like a kind of semi-non-fiction. A few of them are horrors, and then we got some fantasies, some military fantasies. So, you know, all books that I'm really excited to read. Let's talk about them. The first book that I received for my birthday is this happy little thing, Nuclear War, a Scenario by Annie Jacobsen. If you don't know, Annie Jacobsen is an investigative journalist, and this book is kind of like a scenario of, if it were to happen, if a nuclear war were to happen, this is more than likely what it would look like. This is the sequence of events that would happen. This is how much warning we would have. This is the first impact. This is how it would affect the world. Honestly, it's something which terrifies me. I think, as it should everyone. But I don't know. I've got a morbid curiosity, and sometimes I feel like when you have an anxiety about something, I don't know about you, but just learning more about it, it kind of satiates that anxiety. And then once I know about it, I go, okay, at least I know I can forget about it. Do you know what I mean? It says here that this is based on facts that are sourced from exclusive interviews with presidential advisors, cabinet members, engineers, scientists, soldiers, airmen, special operators, secret service, emergency management experts. You get the idea. Annie Jacobsen has spoken to various people who work at different levels of the government, and after interviewing all of them, she has put together, this is the likely sequence of events if this were to ever happen. I'm going to freak myself out. Nuclear war. Oh, this is rubbish. Next up is Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. So I think that this really is the ultimate book in haunted house fiction, second maybe only to The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, which I read last year. And I say fiction, but apparently this is based on true events. Really? I'm a little bit of a skeptic, I've got to admit, but I love horror and I love to be freaked out. Spooky season is not that far away, so I'll probably be saving this book for October, when I just like to just be terrified all the time, basically. And then I'll give it a review in October, I'm sure. This is one of those books that is just so famous, but I know nothing about it, really, other than it's like a haunted house. So I haven't seen the movie or anything. I'm going to go into this one cold, and I hope that it scares the daylights out of me. The next book is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. This one seems very mysterious and ambiguous. It's about a group of women who live underground in a cage, and they have no recollection or understanding of why they are there, how they got there. Years and years pass, and then it seems like the protagonist maybe tries to escape. I don't know if this book is mostly going to be about their escape attempt. I don't know if it's going to be mostly about the captivity or life after their escape and exploring the outside world after years of captivity. I don't know. But all I know is I read the synopsis and I just immediately needed to know what was going on. It caught me, it hooked me. Good synopsis. Next up is Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames, I think it's pronounced. This is the story of Clay Cooper, who is like this old mercenary, and his group of ex-mercenaries that all parted ways years ago. Back in the day, they were the most feared group of mercenaries around, but now time has taken its toll. They're a little bit out of shape. Maybe they're drinking a bit too much. They're a bit rusty. Then one day, Clay's retirement is interrupted by an old friend from his mercenary group. And he says to him, listen, my daughter is in this city that is surrounded by our old enemies, and we need to go and free her. It's one of those kind of cliches, let's get the band back together. And I think almost literally, a lot of the characters are supposed to be based on rock stars from our world. I'm a little bit of a fan of classic rock, so I'll be excited to see, if I can recognize who they're supposed to be based on. But I think this is going to be a light-hearted kind of book, which for me is kind of rare. The next book is The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang. This book has got so much hype around it. I've seen so many reviews on BookTube and BookTok, and it just seems to be universally loved by fans of the fantasy genre. This book is a standalone novel, which I'm really excited about because the majority of fantasy that I read are part of a larger series. But as I understand it, although it's a standalone novel, it is a kind of prequel to a series called the Theonite series. And I haven't read that, but maybe after reading this, I'll read the series. But this is a self-contained story that kind of exists within that world, as far as I understand it. So this book has a heavy Japanese military influence. It's about the Matsuda family who live in a kind of remote mountainous area at the edge of the Kaiganese Empire. This family has some of the most fearsome warriors that are in the empire, and the place where they live is called the Sword of Kaigan. And the reason that it's called that is that for centuries, I think, they've been defending the empire from this position. This book is really chunky, but it's also supposed to be really fast-paced, and I am yet to see a review of this book where it's just not being universally praised. That does make me a little bit nervous, though, because what if I'm the first one that doesn't like it? Then I'm an outcast. I mean, I'm if I don't like it, I'll tell you, but that always makes me a bit nervous when everyone loves it. I felt a bit like that when I read Project Hail Mary, because it just seemed like everyone loved this book. Luckily, I really enjoyed it as well. It was one of my favorite books that I read last year. But hopefully this one lives up to the hype. Next up is And Then I Woke Up by Malcolm Devlin. This is a nice short little book. In this book, the world has been hit by some kind of strange plague. It sounds to me, based on the synopsis, as though it's like a zombie apocalypse, right? But it's very difficult to be able to tell what's going on because people's minds have been so warped by the effects of this plague. And then it sounds like they found a cure for the zombification of the population, and now people, once they're being cured, are kind of waking up from their stupor, and they're carrying the guilt of what they did as creatures. I feel like this one might be a little bit messed up, and I really like the cover. So these are the books that I received for my birthday, and I also bought myself You Like It Darker by Stephen King. I bought the audio version of it, and I'm going to be listening to that pretty much in a few days. And so once I give a review of You Like It Darker, I'll make sure to include it on the channel. If you'd like to see that, then you can click up here. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Let me try and blow this thing one more time. That was better. All right. Thanks again. Happy reading.